Hey guys, J77 here doing another vlog, and this one raised a question that I have been thinking about for a while, and is now being enforced by an article. It was written by Liz Goodwin. She's a very famous writer of late. She's doing a lot of articles for the lockout, and this one really raised the question of the Supreme Court. Now, there's been a study that people have a very low approval rating of the Supreme Court, the lowest that we have seen since the 80s. Most of this have to do with a lot of things that they're covering today. A lot of people have mixed feelings towards why that is, but everything comes back to one major common denominator, and that is that they have a lot of these guys who are appointed as Supreme Judge in these courts, or either have some type of political ties to whatever party that appointed them, and sometimes that political ties can get in the way with what's right for the country. Other people also address very concerned about the fact that once you're these judges, you don't have to be voted out. You are there for life. That's it. Until you feel free that you want to retire from that seat, or even more, just basically die out. You're there, and there's no changing that, no matter what president comes in there, which raises the stakes even higher for when it comes time to replace one of the judges, because whoever is appointed that judge could swing the influence of the party in terms of getting laws changed in their favor. And that's how important the Supreme Court is, and why this is such a very sensitive issue that, in my opinion, should really be talked about. It should be really talked about a lot more than just being brushed in the wind, because where you know that whoever the president is, especially this year, whether it be Barack Obama or Mitt Romney, if one of those judges decides to retire, they have the power to appoint a judge that may influence his views into passing more so than anybody else tend to believe. That's why anytime these judges come up, there's always a big issue, there's always a big debate, and having people talk about it, whether or not that person will be suited for. It happened when Obama appointed two new judges to the Supreme Court, and believe me, it's going to happen again after Obama leaves and the new president comes in and wants to appoint a new judge in the Supreme Court circuit. So yeah, the balance of power can shift either way. As for the long term, them being appointed to that spot, yeah, I never really thought about it too much, but after a while, yeah, it kind of made me wonder, should we have a term limit for these judges, especially if they're out of touch with today's society. That's the thing that is always bothered me, how much in touch, how much they're constantly keeping informed what's going on around the people. Do they have their own religious views that can affect the laws that we have right now? So these are all stuff that that is being thrown out there, and believe me, this is something that no one really truly have a clear answer for. One thing I will say though, I don't believe that political influence should be the driving force of these judges. They have to go by the law and interpret the law the way it has been written in the Constitution, and if something deems unconstitutional, they have to rule, hey, this is unconstitutional. But sometimes we all know that don't really always happen, and that's why we always have to keep an eye on who is going to be appointed the next Supreme Judge when it comes to these kinds of issues. I'd like to know what you guys are feeling on this. I really would like to know your comments on this issue, because it is a very tough, sensitive issue, and I like to hear other people's opinions on that. Give your own thoughts on what you think should happen. Do you think that political have pretty much damaged the reputation of the Supreme Court, or do you think the Supreme Court just fine where it is? Do you think there should be some term limits or not term limits? Give me your own thoughts in general of this on topic. It don't have to be a right answer or wrong answer. Just give me your own honest goodness feedback on the issue. Until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, and I will leave a link below so you can read the story for yourself. Take care.